The question is, what happens in the event where the child is doing something that may be inappropriate, where the mother is taking one position of discipline and the father is taking a different position of discipline? For example, the father is taking a very gentle and easy route of discipline, saying, well, just leave them be.
Number one, I think that this kind of goes, the first thing that I would try to suggest is to have some open communication between the husband and the wife, first and foremost, to try to tackle that, so that they can try to be some type of middle ground. That's number one. Number two, I think, you know, there's a limit to leniency. Sometimes you have children, I don't want to say special needs or special cases, but sometimes children need to be dealt with differently in different manners. So that needs to be, if that's a viable option. You know, in the case of Salah, if you have a child that's not praying, and of the age of praying, you generally know the personality of the children. You know that you have certain rights within Islam to do certain things, to discipline your child, especially to pray. But at the same time, you want to make sure your child has some autonomy and that they're praying not because Baba and Mama said so. Because it's not the fact that go and pray is you know, that's not you know, go and pray. That's not it. Are we asking them why they're not praying? Are we asking why we're not doing anything? Is there certain issues? So I think number one, that there should try to be some type of middle ground, and number two, try to assess the situation of that particular child, so there can be a type of plan for that. And I think Sheikh might have something else.
No, I believe that, inshallah ta'ala, I think that in cases where the father sees things one way and the mother sees things the other way, then there should be, as our Sheikh Abdushaaheed mentioned, there should be some communication. Because in order to discipline children, both the mother and the father have to be seen as a team.
There has to be stability in the household. There has to be stability in the household. There has to be one mushroom. There has to be, if you come like, hey, we're together on this, you're not getting out of it.
Because if the child sees that Baba sees things one way and Mama disagrees, then children are extremely smart. What they'll do is they will play the father against the mother. So there has to be communication. If certain things happen in the household where the child is not praying or the child is misbehaving at school or so on and so forth, it's a good idea that the mother and the father, before approaching the child for discipline, they can talk about, they say, well, you know, Abdul Kareem, he did such and such today, what do you think? And then the Baba will express his feelings, Mama will express their feelings, and then they come to an agreement before they approach the child with the discipline. That way, when they approach the child with the discipline or with the punishment or whatever comes along with that, they will be seen as one unit, as one team, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have time for one more question. If there's any questions from the brothers.
Yeah, Jazakallah khair, brothers. Very good lecture. This is regarding the point of the man is supposed to provide a provider for the women.
Yes.
So, mashallah, just try to connect the dot for me for today's circumstances. Many parents won't be so lucky to get all their kids married, daughters or sons.
Right.
And there are many marriages. Sometimes they're not successful, so they split. Mm-hmm. And in our country, there are millions of women. Mm-hmm. There are single families, you know, they run families and they have to work outside the house. And also, you know, sometimes economic conditions are such where a lot of men got laid off in 2008 and still not working, and the women are.
Yes.
So just help us a little bit connect the dots from what you know.
That's a very good question. If I'm understanding your question properly, it's in summary, what happens when there are cases where Allah says men are supposed to provide and maintain, but there's sometimes economic situation that doesn't allow for the man to be able to give everything, which may necessitate that in order to maintain the household, the wife may end up having to get a job, right? Okay. Or the woman herself having the job and the husband being a house husband, right? Have we ever heard that term before? Right? We heard of housewife. Have we ever heard of house husband?
There's millions.
Right? So what do we do then? Okay, the answer to that is this, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He made certain things as they are. Okay? And the obligations of providing and maintaining will still rest on the shoulder of the husband, with or without a job. At that point, the husband, he gets laid off, okay? Or he gets demoted, or, okay? The wife at that point has a choice. She can, Islamically, she has a right. Legally, she can go to a judge and say, my husband can't provide for me anymore, and I don't want to be married to you. She has a right to do that. Okay? And then the judge will ask the husband, he says, he will go through the process, and then if the situation is as she says it is, then the judge will divorce them. However, I said that she has a right to that. I didn't say that this is what she should do. Because in situations, for example, you have a husband and wife, they've been married 15 years. They have 4 kids. Should she go to the judge and say, well, I don't want to be married to him anymore because he can't provide for me? I'm going to tell him, if they came in front of me, I would tell the sister that no, this is not the approach that she should take. But if she insisted, and said, no, I'm not going to live like this, then she has that right. But she also has the right to help her husband through this difficult time. Now, I also say that we shouldn't use, because women, one of the qualities of women is that they are extremely committed. They are dedicated and committed individuals, more committed than men. And what we don't want to do is we don't want to say, all right, well, since my wife has, a degree and she's willing to work and stay with me, and all I got to do is stay home, and maybe I can talk her out of making me cook, right? And she comes home because I tell her, baby, I think your biryani is the greatest. So what I'm going to do is, for the next 10, 15 years, I'm going to milk this cow, and I'm going to let her work, and she's paid the bills, and I just sit home. Say, la. What she's doing is she's helping you. And that's an honorable thing for the woman to do. But we as men should have a sense of ghira, a sense of pride, that I am responsible, and I'm going to take care of what Allah has made me responsible for. Maybe, yes, right now, today, I may be a little hard, but if I have to go out and chop trees and carry wood on my back, I'm going to pay these bills myself. Because that is the position and the status that Allah Azza wa Jalla has given to the men. But if a wife says, I have $1 million in the bank, husband, here's $500,000, this is a gift to you to help you take care of your responsibilities over us and provide for us, then that is an honorable thing. And I think that will be something that Allah Azza wa Jalla will reward her tremendously for. And that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give them blessings for her attempt to keep the family together. And that is an honor. But also I'm saying that to the brothers, that let us not use the economy as an excuse. Because if our wife can go out and find a job, how come we can't go out and find a job? Okay, so let's think about that. And let us not, and while we accept the help, let us not abuse the help, and let us not abuse the offering and the commitment that our wives are willing to put forward to us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us all and guide us all in our affairs.